University Challenge. Asking the questions, Jeremy Paxman.
Hello. Around 130 teams applied to take part in this competition, and now only the two best remain. In a little under half an hour, we'll see one of them triumph and take the Champions' Trophy into their care. Although in the current climate, the presentation of the trophy will dispense with the usual group hugs and backslapping, nothing can diminish the tremendous achievement of both of the teams who've made it through to this final. As always, the winners will have earned themselves the undying glory of being able to call themselves University Challenge Series champions. The team from the University of Warwick, first off, have had an immaculate competition so far, 5 matches played and 5 victories. They're representing an institution that lifted the trophy in 2007, and so with an average age of 22, let's meet the team hoping for a second championship.
Hi, I'm Richard Pollard. I'm from Cheshire and I'm studying history and politics.
Hello, I'm George Braid. I'm originally from Brighton and I was doing a PhD in physics.
And here's their captain.
Hi, I'm Andrew Rout. I'm from Bearsted in Kent and I'm still studying for a PhD in maths.
Hello, I'm Owen Burrell. I'm from Lancaster and I'm studying for a Masters in English Literature.
Now, the team from Magdalene College, Cambridge, have played 6 matches to get to this final, with 5 victories and only 1 defeat, which was at the hands of the team they're facing again tonight. With an average age of 31, let's meet the Magdalene team again.
Hi, I'm James Byrne. I'm from Wollongong City in Hertfordshire and I'm studying maths.
Hi, I'm Adam Davies from Wichita, Kansas, and just graduated with a degree in history.
This is their captain.
Hello, I'm Daniel Lawson. I'm from the Wirral and I'm studying medicine.
Hello, I'm Kerry Payne. I'm from Little Wheaton in East Yorkshire and I'm studying theology for ministry.
OK, you all know the rules, so let's get on with it. 10 points at stake. Fingers on the buzzers, please. What 4-letter word is this? A Buddhist teaching says it is in the heart of a person who inwardly despises his father and disregards his mother. Shelley said it's like London. T.S. Eliot says it is oneself. Jean-Paul Sartre says it is other people.
Magdalene Lawson.
Love.
No. You lose 5 points.
Warwick Burrell.
Hell.
Hell is correct, yeah. Right, 3 questions on false or mistaken identities. Situated not far from Loch Ness, the grave of Roderick Mackenzie honours a man who was captured and killed by troops after falsely claiming he was which royal figure?
Bonnie Prince Charlie, perhaps?
It could be Bonnie Prince Charlie.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Bonnie Prince Charlie?
Correct. In a Victorian cause célèbre, Arthur Orton of New South Wales claimed to be the heir to which English baronetcy? The case was the subject of a film of 1998.
Do we know the film?
No.
Do we know anything?
No.
Probably not. Pass.
That was the Tichborne claimant. In 2006, the business graduate Guy Gomer was mistaken for a computing expert and interviewed on BBC News 24 about a legal verdict involving which tech company?
Microsoft, maybe?
Sure. I mean, we don't have a real reason to go for anyone, so Microsoft.
That was Apple. Okay. 10 points for this. What short word appears in all these biological terms? An alternative term for an involuntary muscle, the endoplasmic reticulum known as the SER, and the common name of the 3rd native British snake, along with the adder and grass snake.
Warwick Braid.
Smooth.
Smooth is correct. You get a set of bonuses on a critical theorist. Quote, she pioneered the study in literary theory of non-Western women and produced one of the earliest and most coherent accounts of their roles. Those words of Edward Said refer to which post-colonial theorist born in Calcutta in 1942?
Is that
Spivak, yeah.
Nominate Burrell.
Spivak.
Spivak is correct. First used in critical theory by Gramsci to refer to groups excluded from structures of power. What 9-letter term appears in the title of Spivak's major essay of 1988, which discusses how the voices of such groups are suppressed?
Subaltern.
Nominate Burrell.
Subaltern.
Subaltern is correct. In 1976, Spivak published the first English translation of De la Grammatologie by which literary theorist? Her translator's preface remains a significant introduction to his philosophy of deconstruction.
Derrida,
Yeah,
presumably.
Derrida.
Derrida is correct. 10 points for this. Which legendary figure gives his name to both the channel that separates New Britain from New Ireland in the Bismarck Archipelago and the channel that separates Great Britain from Ireland between Pembrokeshire and County Wexford?
Warwick Burrell.
St George.
St George is correct. Your bonuses this time are on a scientist. Hugo de Vries and Carl Correns were among those who, in the early 20th century, rediscovered the work of which scientist born in 1822 in what is now the Czech Republic?
Semmelweis, maybe?
Do you have anything?
I have nothing there.
Nominate Pollard.
Semmelweis?
No, it's Mendel.
Oh.
In addition to Mendel's laws of segregation and independent assortment, a third law is often assigned to him, named after a term he used to contrast with recessiveness. What is the name of that law?
Dominance.
I guess so.
Dominance.
Dominance is correct. The author in 1905 of Mendelism, which British geneticist gives his name to a diagram used to visualise Mendelian genetics and predict inheritance?
Punnett. Punnett squares a thing.
I guess so. Yeah.
Punnett.
Punnett is correct, yes. Right, we're going to take a picture round now. For your picture starter, you'll see a map of Africa on which a grid has been overlaid. For 10 points, give me the grid reference of the square in which you would find the remains of the ancient city of Carthage.
Magdalene Byrne.
F1.
F1 is correct. It's in what is now Tunis. Right, so we follow on from Carthage with your picture bonuses. You simply need the locations of 3 more significant places on the same map. First, give the grid reference of the square in which you would find the capital of the former kingdom of Dahomey, now a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
E5?
To West Benin.
Is it E5?
Yeah, it'll be. I think. Yeah, I think E5.
E5.
E5 is right, it's in Benin, what is now Benin. Secondly, give the location of Moroni, the capital city of the Comoros Islands.
That will be
K7?
No. I think the Comoros Islands are the ones you can see in J7.
J7 then.
Yeah.
J7.
J7 is correct. They're east of Mozambique. And finally, give the location of the confluence of the White Nile and the Blue Nile.
Khartoum. It's I4? Just further up.
Yeah, probably 4. Yeah.
Is it definitely I, not in H?
You can sort of see the river.
Yeah,
It is in I4. I can see it. I can see the river. Yeah.
I4.
I4 then.
Yeah.
I4.
I4 is correct. Right, 10 points for this. In fluid mechanics, what term denotes the formation of voids or bubbles within regions of a fluid as the exterior pressure falls below the fluid's vapour pressure? Subsequent collapse of the bubbles creates shock waves in the fluid, which can cause damage to solid materials.
Magdalene Lawson.
Liquefaction.
No? Anyone want to buzz from Warwick? None of you are doing so. It's cavitation. 10 points for this. Dating from the Pliocene epoch, Cuvier oeneus and Stegomastodon are most closely related to which modern-day mammals?
Warwick Burrell.
Elephant.
Elephants is correct. These bonuses are on military defeats of the Roman Republic. After the Battle of Caudine Forks in 321 BC, the Roman army was forced to pass under a yoke as a sign of submission to which victorious Italian tribe?
Etruscans, do we think?
Samnites.
Oh, the Samnites.
Samnites is correct. According to the historian Plutarch, which general said after his victory at the Battle of Asculum in 279 BC, "If we are victorious in one more battle with the Romans, we shall be utterly ruined"?
Pyrrhus.
Pyrrhus is correct. And finally, the Battle of Carrhae in 53 BC saw the defeat and death of which Roman statesman? He was a member of the first triumvirate along with Caesar and Pompey.
Crassus.
Crassus is correct. 10 points for this. Answer as soon as your name is called. If a fresh breeze blowing at 10 metres per second exerts a force of 1,000 newtons on a wall, what force is exerted on the same wall by a storm wind of 30 metres per second?
Magdalene Byrne.
900.
Anyone want to buzz from Warwick?
Warwick Braid.
9,000.
9,000 newtons is correct, yes. Your bonuses are on 21st century vampire films. Give the title of each film from the description. Firstly, a 2013 film by Jim Jarmusch, starring Tom Hiddleston as Adam, a weary, reclusive vampire in Detroit, and Tilda Swinton as Eve, his wife of many centuries?
So is this another example of us not knowing the popular culture?
Yes, I think so.
Pass.
That's Only Lovers Left Alive. Secondly, a 2014 Persian language film shot entirely in black and white. The director Anna Lili Amirpour described it as the first Iranian vampire spaghetti western.
Pass.
I guess you don't know it. No. That is A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night. And finally, a Swedish film of 2008 by Thomas Alfredson about the friendship between a bullied 12-year-old and his new neighbour Ellie, whom he discovers is a vampire.
I think I know this. It's Let the Right One In.
Let the right one in.
Yeah.
Let the right one in.
Let the Right One In is correct. Well done. According to The Economist, after whom it was named, the Laffer curve was partly inspired by which 14th century Tunisian scholar who described...
Magdalene Davies.
Ibn Khaldun.
Ibn Khaldun is correct. Well done. You get 3 questions on famous Marmadukes. Marmaduke de Thwen was one of the few English commanders to cross the River Forth to safety, at which battle of 1297 fought near the present-day Wallace Monument?
Stirling Bridge, is it?
Yeah, sounds good.
Stirling Bridge.
Stirling Bridge is correct. Born in 1743, the naturalist Marmaduke Tunstall commissioned the Chillingham Bull, a print by which illustrator who gives his name to a species of swan?
Hooper Swan? Is that
That is a name, Swan, yes.
Yeah, no, let's think of some more, though. Buick Swan?
Oh, Buick's good.
Buick?
Buick is correct. During World War I, the author Marmaduke Pickthall converted to what religion? In 1930, he published a literal translation of its central text, describing it in his title as glorious.
Quran? Oh, yeah, it's a Quran.
So Islam.
It's Islam.
Islam.
Islam is correct, yes. I think it's about time we heard some music. For your music starter, you'll hear a piece of classical music. 10 points if you can name its composer.
Magdalene Lawson.
Debussy.
No. You can hear a little more Warwick if you like.
Warwick Braid.
Ravel.
No, it's Sibelius. I was going to say you were all lost in a reverie there, but perhaps you've just lost in ignorance. I don't know. We'll get the music bonuses in a moment or two. 10 points for this. Which 3 vowels follow one another in the original French title of the 1886 novel, often known in English as The Masterpiece by Émile Zola? The same vowel combination appears in French words meaning heart, egg and sister.
Magdalene Davies.
O-E-U.
Correct. Well, you heard Sibelius's The Swan of Tuonela, which is based on the Finnish epic The Kalevala. Your music bonuses are 3 more classical works based on epic poems. I want you to name the composer of each. First, the composer of this oratorio, which draws on Milton's Paradise Lost.
Maybe it's Paradise Lost. It could be Handel.
Yeah. It sounds a bit classical for Handel. Yeah. Handel? We'll try Handel. Handel?
No, it's Haydn. It's the representation of chaos from the creation. Secondly, the composer of this work, based on a 19th century American epic.
Could be Dvorak.
Could Copeland have done?
Okay, Copland's good. Go ahead.
Yeah. Copeland?
No, it's Samuel Coleridge Taylor.
Ah, yes.
That's from The Song of Hiawatha by Longfellow. Finally, the composer of this opera, based on the Aeneid.
Purcell. Dido and Aeneas. Yeah. Purcell.
It is Purcell, yes. From Dido and Aeneas. 10 points for this. What 2 animals are Beatrix Potter's characters Mrs. Tiggywinkle and Mr. Todd? The same animals appear in the title of a 1953 essay by Isaiah Berlin, in which one is said to know many things.
Magdalene Davies.
A fox and a hedgehog.
Fox and the Hedgehog is correct, or Hedgehog and the Fox. Right, your bonuses this time, Magdalene, are on terms in science and technology. From the Latin for whirl or eddy, what 7-letter term denotes a device that converts fluid flow into mechanical energy?
Turbine?
Yeah. That's what a turbine does.
Yeah, turbine.
Turbine is correct. Turbellaria, which include the planarians, are a class in which animal phylum, also known as flatworms?
Flukes?
I don't know.
Why is it science and techno science? Okay. Flukes?
No, they're platyhelminths.
Okay.
In fluid dynamics, turbulent flow stands in contrast to what kind of flow?
Laminar flow?
Laminar flow is correct. Right, 10 points for this. I need a 6-letter word here. In a mechanism for converting rotary into linear motion, for example, in vehicle steering systems or mountain railways, what term denotes a small cog or gear wheel that engages with a toothed bar known as a rack?
Warwick Braid.
Pinion.
Pinion is correct. These bonuses are on prominent British politicians who were involved in the defence of colonial slavery. In each case, name the person from the description. Firstly, the Foreign Secretary from 1807 to 1809, and again from 1822. He was the MP for Seaford at the time of his death in 1827.
No idea.
We got anything?
Castlereagh.
Nominate Braid.
Castlereagh.
No, it was Canning. The son, secondly, of a Liverpool merchant who owned several thousand slaves in Jamaica and Demerara. His first parliamentary constituency was Newark, and his last was Midlothian.
Gladstone.
I was thinking.
I mean, it could be Gladstone. He did do a Midlothian
and he
campaign.
was from.
I think
he was from Liverpool.
Gladstone.
It is Gladstone, yes. And finally, the Home Secretary for much of the 1820s. He was MP for Tamworth from 1830 to 1850.
Anything? Castlereagh, maybe?
Sidmouth, maybe.
Sorry? What did you say?
Sidmouth, but it might be.
Sidmouth. Sidmouth.
No, it's Robert Peel. 10 points for this. Consider the 5-ringed Olympic symbol taking the colours of the left and second left rings and imagine them as horizontal stripes. This gives the flag of which European country, which has been...
Magdalene Byrne.
Ukraine?
Ukraine is correct. Right, these bonuses are on former Chinese capitals. You may spell the answer if you're unsure of the pronunciation. Firstly, the early Ming and Republican capital of Nanjing is now the capital of which province?
Jiangsu.
Jiangsu.
Yeah,
Jiangsu.
Jiangsu is correct. The eastern Han capital of Luoyang and the northern Song capital of Kaifeng are in which inland province?
Hainan.
Henan.
Hainan.
Yeah.
Henan then.
E.
He is Henan.
Yeah.
Henan.
Henan is correct. And finally, the wartime Republican capital of Chongqing was until 1997 part of which province?
Sichuan.
Sichuan.
Yeah.
Sichuan.
Sichuan is correct. 10 points for this. Consider the square root of 2 written to 4 significant figures. If these 4 numbers are taken as a year of the second millennium, which king is on the English throne?
Magdalene Byrne.
Henry IV.
No. You lose 5 points.
Warwick Rout.
Henry V.
Henry V is correct, yes. 1414. Right, so you get the set of bonuses. They're on artists born in the year 1898. Time transfixed and not to be reproduced are among the works of which artist born in the town of Lessines in 1898?
Magritte, yeah. Magritte.
Magritte is correct. Most famous for his sculptures that pioneered so-called kinetic art, which US artist created the Mercury fountain, which was displayed alongside Picasso's Guernica at the 1937 World Exposition?
I think Calder is kinetic art. Calder.
Alexander Calder is correct. Inspired by his visits to the Alhambra and depicting birds and fish in a tile-like pattern, Sky and Water is one of several tessellations by which Dutch artist?
Escher.
I mean, it could be. Escher? Yeah, sure. Escher.
Escher is correct. Right, we're going to take another picture round. For your picture starter, you're going to see a painting of a scene from Greco-Roman myth. For 10 points, please name the artist.
Magdalene Lawson.
Rubens.
No, if anyone wants to buzz from Warwick, please do so.
Warwick Braid.
Titian.
It is Titian. It's the Rape of Europa. It's used as a bull is visible beneath her. Right, the painting of Zeus and Europa was one of Titian's Poesy, a series of works based on Ovid's Metamorphoses, commissioned by Philip II of Spain. Your picture bonuses are 3 more of these paintings. This time you'll need to name the mythological subjects. Firstly, name both the human figures here.
So is this someone falling into the...
Is this Perseus and Andromeda?
Yeah, that makes more sense. I think.
Okay.
Bridges.
Perseus and Andromeda?
It is Perseus and Andromeda. Secondly, name both the goddess on the left and the mortal depicted half transformed on the right.
It's Actaeon and
Diana.
yeah.
But
If it's
Artemis.
Latin and Greek, yeah,
So Actaeon and Artemis.
yeah.
Actaeon and Artemis?
Yes, or Diana and Actaeon. And finally, the reclining female figure here.
It's Venus, right? Yeah. Venus.
No, that's Danae. Right, 10 points for this. In eukaryotic cells, an important part of the maturation of messenger RNA involves the addition of a long repeating stretch of which nucleic acid base to its 3' end?
Warwick Rout.
Cysteine.
No? Anyone want to buzz from Magdalene?
Magdalene Lawson.
Guanine.
No, it's adenine or adenosine. 10 points for this. In the UK, who was the first person to be given official use of the title Prime Minister? He entered office in December 1905 following the resignation...
Magdalene Davies.
Bannerman Campbell.
No, you lose 5 points. The resignation of Arthur Balfour and won a landslide in a general election early the next year.
Warwick Rout.
Campbell Bannerman.
Campbell Bannerman is correct, yes. Right, these bonuses are on the history of Belize. What pre-Columbian civilization occupied much of present-day Belize?
I think.
Sorry?
The Maya, I think.
Sure.
Pretty sure.
Okay. The Maya.
The Maya is correct. Until 1973, Belize was known by what 2-word name?
British
something.
Guyana, right?
No, that's
No.
Just Guyana now. So
Okay, so British.
British something, and I don't know what.
Have a guess.
British Central America. No, British.
Come on.
Can't think of anything.
British. No, pass.
It was British Honduras. It was renamed before independence in 1981. Hurricane Hattie in 1961 prompted the construction of what inland city, which is now the capital of Belize?
Belmopan.
Belmopan.
Yeah.
Nominate Pollard.
Belmopan.
Belmopan is correct. 10 points for this. What multiple of 10 results when one multiplies the number of piano concertos by Beethoven and Rachmaninoff?
Warwick Braid.
20.
20 is correct. You get 3 bonuses on chloride salts. In Group 2 of the periodic table, 3 elements have chlorides that are used for ice control on roads. Name 2 of those 3 elements.
Which group? Did you say Group 1? Or Group 2?
Should be Group 1 for chloride.
Okay.
Come on, let's have a...
So,
I don't know.
lithium and... What's the other one?
Potassium.
Lithium and potassium.
No, it's magnesium, calcium and strontium. The chloride of which ferromagnetic element changes colour depending on humidity?
Ferromagnetic elements, nickel maybe.
Yeah.
Nickel.
No, it's cobalt. The chloride of which group 1 element is currently used as a low sodium substitute for salt?
What's the next one down?
Potassium.
Potassium.
Potassium is correct. 10 points for this. The development of what method of recording images in the form of interference patterns using beams of coherent light won the 1971 Nobel Prize in Physics for Dennis Gabor?
Magdalene Lawson.
Holography.
Holography is correct. These bonuses are on the US filmmaker Rachel Talalay. Talalay was a producer of which 1988 film by John Waters? Set in Baltimore, it stars Ricky Lake, Divine and Debbie Harry.
No ideas.
No idea, sorry.
That's Hairspray. Directed by Talalay, which 1995 science fiction film stars Laurie Petty as the title character, originally drawn by Jamie Hewlett in a British comic book?
No idea, sorry.
It's Tank Girl. Matt Lucas and Mark Gatiss play anthropomorphic animals in which TV film by Talalay, an adaptation of a 1908 children's novel?
Like the Wind in the Willows. The Wind in the
Wind in the Willows.
Correct. 10 points for this. In which country is Laguna del Carbon, the lowest point in South America? The same country is the location of the highest mountain outside Asia.
Magdalene Byrne.
Argentina.
Argentina is correct. Your bonuses are on Stravinsky. First performed in 1910, which ballet by Stravinsky was commissioned by Diaghilev for the Ballet Russe? It tells the story of Prince Ivan in the realm of Koshai, the immortal.
Petrushka. Firebird.
Only the Rites of Spring.
Petrushka.
The Firebird is the answer I was looking for. In 1913, the notorious first night of Stravinsky's The Rite of Spring occurred at a Paris theatre named after which nearby thoroughfare?
Champs-Élysées. Champs-Élysées.
Correct. Stravinsky's 1928 ballet, The Fairy's Kiss, is based on music by which fellow Russian composer commemorating the 35th anniversary of his death?
What would that be? Prokofiev. No, that's far too.
Come on.
Tchaikovsky.
Tchaikovsky is correct. 10 points for this. Listen carefully. If delta cells secrete somatostatin and beta cells secrete insulin, what do alpha cells secrete?
Magdalene Lawson.
Glucagon.
Correct. And at the gong, Magdalene College Cambridge have 140. It was glucagon. Warwick University have 195. Magdalene, you timed your comeback a little late, but never mind. You fought valiantly, and Warwick, you're just as good as you looked early on. Thank you very much indeed. Congratulations on being series champions. Now, to present the trophy is a man who proves the efficacy of working in a shed. That's where he writes prodigiously for film, theatre, TV and radio, although he's best known probably as a poet. He was named the Millennium Poet, he's been awarded a CBE and received a Queen's Gold Medal for poetry. He's a former Professor of Poetry at Oxford, and in 2019, he was appointed to a post previously held by John Dryden, William Wordsworth, John Betjeman and Carol Ann Duffy. Please welcome the Poet Laureate, Simon Armitage. They were good, weren't they?
Very good, very impressive, yeah.
Was there anything that stumped you? No.
No, I got them all right from start to finish, yeah.
I imagine you would do, yeah.
I remember being on the programme a few years ago, and it wasn't so much about the knowledge, which I didn't have anyway, but about the speed of recall, you know, just actually trying to get the words into your mouth on time.
That's partly because we're older, of course.
I guess that's it, yeah. My recollection of it is a form of ritual humiliation. But I'm very glad to get home and watch it on TV and get all the answers right again the next time. So,
Simon, thank you. Well, that's it. Many thanks to both our finalists, and congratulations too to all the dozens of teams that took part or tried to take part. And many thanks to you for watching. Now come and collect your trophy, Warwick.